I've never seen a man look
really.
so much like someone's actually got their fist up him
Sure.
as George Bush the other night.
Coming up, we're going to be looking through some of the highlights from Under Melbourne Tonight, and Under Melbourne Tonight presents Who's Shout. Now, if you were living under a rock at the time, or you lived outside the 3-kilometre broadcast radius that we had back then,
Yes, we did.
tell us about these shows. How did they come about?
Well, Under Melbourne Tonight came about as a result of... I was doing a show on Triple R FM with Liam O'Hara, who was an RMIT person at the time, and he basically put it all together. He used a lot of people from Triple R and some comedians we knew. Rastus, also known as Vin Hedger, was fundamental in forming the show. So we had this sort of mixed bag of people who put together this live show each week, sort of making it up as we went along. And Who's Shout sort of grew out of that, and Who's Shout, it morphed into more of a talk show, which took place in a fictional pub called the Stumpy Arms.
Talk show pioneers.
Yeah,
You kicked off a heck of a tradition, because in the time since we've seen The Loft, we've seen Studio A.
The current incarnation live on Bowen, screening at Friday nights at 8:30 p.m.
Now, I don't want to say that this is all down to your efforts.
No, well, I wouldn't say that either. I really... Nah.
But it is.
Well, not you. No.
Well, you know, you can be as modest as you like. But as we go to the following clips, remember, it's all Stephen's fault.
This week our house is set in the lovely suburb of Fantasy Island. Yep, we're in Fantasy Island. I'm Mr. Rourke, aren't I?
Yeah.
And who are you? You're Tattoo, aren't you?
I'm Tattoo.
Yes, isn't it beautiful here, Tattoo? And our guests come to our house by the airborne transport. What's that, Tattoo? Up there, Tattoo, in the sky.
It's a plane. The plane.
Excellent, Tattoo. Let's see.
I went along with the Fantasy Island bill. I'm not going along with a tattoo.
All right, okay, take it easy.
Stupid.
Take it easy,
It's a
relax.
stupid idea.
All right, okay.
He had a Volvo with the Triple R sticker on the back.
That's true.
It's almost passable. But 10 years ago we were at uni together. That was tragic. Did you pick up many chicks apart from me, or was that...
The answer here is, well, the first catchphrase took place in 1853 when ventriloquist Gottel O'Gear went on stage with his dummy Ian. Here's a reenactment.
I'm Gottel O'Gear.
I didn't know you had video footage.
Yeah. We're high tech. I say, Ian, what time is it when an elephant sits on your fence? In those days, catchphrases didn't need to be short.
What have you been up to?
Visiting the Dark Ages?
How dark were they?
Oh, terribly dark.
Dear boy.
Terribly dark, dear boy.
Yes,
indeed.
Well, look, send my love to everyone back there, won't you? And what else have you been up to?
Well, you may know that I've been looking at the lost arts.
I may know that.
It is true.
Yes.
And this week I've looked at a very specific lost art. You may wish to regard thus.
Oh, you have a tape?
I have a tape.
Excellent.
Well, in the 80s, Morris dancing got a lot of bad press, you know. A lot of violence, people taking your bells off you, your sticks off you, you know. It was all over the shop. What we're trying to do is reinvent it for the 90s, take it off the paddock, out of the barrows, you know, into the clubs where it's available and it's understandable to people, you know, in a more modern context. We like to think of ourselves as innovators, you know, adventurers, if you will.
Morris dancing is the way of the future.
The way of the future. You're no stranger to the future, are you?
Speaking of the future,
Yes.
I must get back to next week. I locked my keys in the Jensen.
Oh, no. Okay.
Arrivederci.
Good luck with the time machine. Thanks very much, Andrew.
Okay.
You know, I'll give it a go.
What are you doing?
I can put the pot in my mouth.
Tony, where are you going?
That was a decorative dipstick.
We're over this now. No, right. Oh,
I'm going
it
to
is.
put the pot in my mouth. Ready? Everyone?
No, other end. Oh, darling, it's very close to me. Do we know this before? Did Job Search know about that skill?
I told Centrelink.
Oh, it's Centrelink. The thing about it is, you know, the bits on the...
Hello, is that you, Tony? It's me, Julian. Are you there? I was there last night and I won first prize in the meat raffle. I wonder if you're still holding it for me.
It's in the fridge.
Fabulous.
meat wrap.
Yes, is there mince? Yes, sir. Is there mince?
There's cold cuts.
Yes.
Chops. And some bangers.
Some bangers.
What about a large
that does take me back. I'll be around later on to pick it up, all right?
Yes, that's fine.
Is it all right if I bring Fanny the Wonder Dog?
Yeah, just make sure you got your ticket.
Of course I have. I kept it somewhere very safe.
No ticky, no minty.
Oh, same old story.
Shows like ours, like Rove's, and like Simon Taylor's, who's now hosting Live on Bowen, have been a crucial part of Melbourne's world-famous comedy scene, providing an invaluable entry-level point to young stand-ups, comedy writers and producers.
And if they're a successful stand-up comic today, then we have footage of them performing stand-up on Channel 31 before then. Roll tape!
But now please make welcome the host of Studio A, Mr. Dave Thornton.
There we go. That's a great way to come back. You're just watching Channel 31 there. And I just turned my microphone on. So we run a slick, tight ship here, guys. Thanks so much. Initially, I know the people in TV land might know, but we haven't got a big audience here tonight, but you guys have turned up, so thank you guys so much for being here. One person slightly whistled, the rest of them went, whatever, champ, do some jokes.
Right. I love saying that word, right. When I'm at work and I've got a new job to do, right. Enough to make me feel like I've started the job. Sometimes it's enough to make me feel like I've earned a break. Right. That's done, time for a smoko. You know?
Hey Nazim, I can never go on a date with you because you're Muslim and Muslims aren't allowed to date. I was like, what are you talking about? Muslims are allowed to date? I'd take you on a date, on a romantic date, candlelight dinner. I'd be sitting here gazing at you. You'd be sitting there gazing straight back at me and my mum and my dad, the overseas guests. Probably the decorative dancing camel as well.
I'm single at the moment as well, and I find what's weird, you kind of miss things when you come out of a relationship. Like, I miss my boyfriend who used to make up theories all the time. Like, he'd say shit to me like, Celia, girls are like amusement parks. And I said, excuse me? And he goes, yeah, like with you, every day is like riding a bipolar coaster. And I said, haha, get fucked, I love you.
First one off the bat, on this very day in 1959, the Soviet probe Luna 2 crashes onto the moon, becoming the first man-made object to reach it.
Hey, America, guess who just landed on the moon first?
You've put a man on the moon?
No, but we did send a probe there.
You successfully sent a probe to the moon to collect pictures and samples?
No, it crashed into the moon, but we did touch the moon.
I don't think that's anything to brag about.
Well, you haven't touched the moon, have you? So you wouldn't know.
You didn't touch the moon, you smashed into it?
Maybe that's what we had planned all along.
Did you?
No, I got fired.
So how's our weather treating you all? Are you all a bit hot or what? Yes. By the way, that's an Irish accent, not a speech impediment. Just thought I'd get that clear. Bit hot, and people are saying stupid things to me all the time, like, is it hot enough for you? And I go, no. I think I might go live in a blast furnace somewhere. If anyone turns over to Channel 31 right now, they'll go, my God, Channel 31, it must be ladies' night tonight. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Dave, and last year a Herald Sun reviewer described me as looking like a cross between Justin Bieber and Steve Buscemi. But don't worry, I took his professional advice on board. I got myself a haircut. Now I'm told I look like a cross between Tilda Swinton and Steve Buscemi. So who's laughing now, reviewer? Not me. Not me.
She said, well, come for an interview, and she gave me the address. It was in Burwood. It was at 9 o'clock in the morning. She said, are you going to be there? I said, yeah, I'll be there. She said, are you really going to be there? I said, yeah, I'll be there. She said, look, we're getting seats and everything organised. Are you going to be there? I said, look, I will be there. Of course, I didn't go. She wanted me to drive to Burwood at 8:30 in the morning to talk about roofing. That's insanity.
Damaged men are back in fashion. The more depressed, heartbroken and moody you are, the more girls will want to save you.
We didn't actually get the autographed photo of Richard Wilkins, so we thought we'll go after him, we'll have another approach. So I wrote this one to him personally, as a little kid. Dear Richard, my name is Timmy and I am 6 years old. I like Michael Jackson, like you do. Did you meet him when he was in Australia? Does he moonwalk around the house? My favourite song is Thriller. My brother Wazza sings it like this. Thriller, you look like gorilla, you belong in Manila, That's pretty funny, isn't it? Could you send me a picture of you in a tour jacket that you don't want anymore? Please write to me. Bye from Timmy. And if we got this little, you got back
Go to
here.
camera 3 and action.
It says, Timmy, I loved your letter. We put it up in the office and everyone had a giggle. Sorry, but wear fresh tour jackets. Keep moonwalking. Love, Richard.
As you do, Richie.
Good on you, Richard. Big hand of applause for
Big
Richard.
round of applause for Richard.
It has been an absolute honour, Stephen. Yeah. And we're going to be back after the break with more.
Sensational. Sensational work. We're going to a break? Are we going to a break?
Yeah, go to a break, may as well.
Now it's time for a break. Right here on Channel 31.